Lovely. Okay. Okay. So, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Turn off the room lights, yeah. So the room lights weren't actually on, I've just got the big. And start. Okay, so I just start. That's it, all I have to do. And bye. Hi everyone, just getting used to the new technology and the new space. Welcome. My first time doing this, if you hadn't guessed. Just trying to work out how to clip the mic on. We're going to start today sitting and just dropping into our bodies. We'll do some deep belly breathing. Which is really nice for just helping reduce our stress levels and relax our nervous system. And it's also really good for getting really deep down in the bottom of our lungs to help us clean those out and invite that new breath in. So get comfortable, either sitting. If you need a blanket to sit on, grab that now. Or if you're more comfortable kneeling, you could kneel. And we're going to put a hand on chest and a hand on our bellies. Maybe just take 3 nice deep breaths. Inhaling and exhaling, just to really bring you inside. And just having a hand on chest, hand on belly. Just sensing, feeling the breath. Just noticing its rhythm. Not trying to control it, force it at all. Just letting it come and go as it chooses, finding its own natural rhythm. Just noticing how the body experiences the breath. feeling the rise and fall of the belly and the chest as you breathe in and out. Perhaps noticing where you breathe from most. Is it the belly or the chest or both? Just noticing its quality. Perhaps it's a little rapid to begin with or rough. But perhaps as we settle here and relax a little in our bodies, we can begin to invite a smoother, richer quality of breath. Bring in your awareness into the belly. And can we shift it from the outside to deep inside? Send your gaze behind the navel, where the navel looks at the spine. Can we sense the breath here? Okay. And then just resting your hands maybe on the knees. We'll do some nice shoulder rolls. You can start to open those eyes, just keeping the gaze maybe softer for now. Inhale, lifting those shoulders, letting them go as you exhale. And a little bit of cat-cow. As we exhale, we'll flex that spine and move into the back of the body as we empty of the breath. Inhaling, moving away from ground, up through the spine. Gaze moving just above the horizon. And just move between the two at your own pace. Okay, good. And then let's put those fingers, clasp those fingers together and reach out in front of you. And we're going to take a nice big exhale and move into the back of the body, taking a few breaths here. Good. Releasing and bringing those hands now to rest on the back of the waist. And starting to invite the breath into the upper chamber now, the chest, ribs, as we start to move up with our gaze, lengthening, elongating our spines. Belly's now supporting the lower back, and you can interlock your fingers and reach out behind you. And taking a few breaths here, really inviting that breath into the upper chamber, the chest and lungs. And release. And we'll just take our right hand and support the weight of our head, lifting with our right elbow, reaching up, Inviting the breath into the lungs here, the right side. Inviting space between those rib bones, those intercostal muscles. Just let the weight of the head rest in your hand as you reach up with that elbow. Come back to center and just changing over. Great. Come back to center. We're going to come onto our backs. So you might want to remove the blanket now. And we'll come down to rest our feet, knees bent, hands on belly. For some of us, this can be an easier place to feel the breath, or relax our belly to really invite that breath in. Settling into the ground beneath you. Let's watch the breath here. Can we feel the rise and fall of the belly as we breathe? Noticing also the movement of the pelvic floor responding to the breath. Both opening, expanding as we inhale and gently contracting as we exhale. Feel the movement in the lower back, moving into the arch of the lower lumbar on the inhale and the lower spine releasing on the exhale. Expand your awareness out. Watch how the whole body rests into ground and moves away from ground as we inhale, and rests, gently contracts inwards and back to ground as we exhale. And let's move towards our bridge with that in mind. So as we inhale, we meet the ground through the feet. Rest through those shoulders. Start to open up away from ground. Invite the breath in. And as we exhale, pour into those feet, drawing those legs inside, pelvic floor inside, slowly releasing you to bridge. Hands could release down by your sides now, or you could interlock the fingers again. Inhaling, moving away from ground, opening up, exhaling, drawing those legs inside, sending the spine out to the crown of your head. Just taking a couple of breaths here. If you feel your breath starting to strain, it's probably time to come down. We'll release. Let's take the arms and legs up into the air. Exhale. Let the weight of the arms and legs rest to ground, and just moving, gently rotating those wrists, those ankles, freeing those joints. And you could take hold of the legs somewhere you're comfortable reaching, where the back of the body can still rest. And see what can release in those hamstrings on the next couple of breaths. What can let go in those hips? Perhaps We can reach for those feet, but don't worry if you don't get there today. Good. Rest the feet down, hands to belly. We'll move back into bridge, bringing the arms in this time. So as we inhale, we're starting to reach up with those hands. Exhale, releasing to bridge and the arms move behind. Make sure we don't let those arms pull away from us. Keep that connection inside to the spine. Inhaling, reaching back up, and exhale to bring those hands down. Back to belly and rest, back to ground. So just a couple more of those in your own time. With the rhythm of your breath. Last one. Releasing the legs and arms back to the sky. Supine staff pose for the last time. Leaving the right leg in the air, resting the left foot back down, hands on belly. See if we can move to a bridge from here. You're probably not going to take it quite so far. Keep the pelvis steady. Taking a few breaths here. Resting, changing the legs over, left to sky, settling through the right foot. Find your points of purchase, big toe, little toe, heel. Keep the pelvis nice and balanced as you start to move to a bridge. Keep the breath relaxed. And releasing down. Good, we're going to hug both those knees, hands out either side of you, and just gently rocking on the back of the pelvis, side to side. We'll rock all the way over to our right with those legs. You can take the arm as well. Let it land, and then work your way back from here, moving in a gentle circle with the arm behind the head, or a semicircle, feeling your way through the legs and the arms back to lying twist. And just taking a few breaths here. See what can soften on the surface of the body. What can unravel? Reaching those legs back up to center and sending yourself the other way. Take the arm as well. And gently circling with the arm, feel your way through the arms and legs to lying twist on the left side. Seeing what unravels on the next breath or two. Draw those knees back in. We'll hug those knees and we'll roll ourselves over. And we're going to come onto our hands and knees. Dropping into fronts of feet and shins. Feel your way through those legs inside, lightening the pelvis. Let's slowly make our way to child pose. If the head's not ready to reach the ground in child pose, you can rest one hand on top of the other or stack those fists. And just taking a few breaths here. Breathing into the belly. Watching the movement of the belly and the pelvic floor. Again, expanding on the inhale, gently contracting on the exhale. Let's bring those hands and reach for our heels. And on an in-breath, we'll slowly drop into fronts of feet and shins, lightening the pelvis a little more. We'll exhale to move to rabbit pose. So if you don't know this one, you could watch first, but we'll exhale and lift up with those hips. And we roll onto the crown of the head, but there's no weight really in my head, so no strain on my neck. We're just lifting up through those hips. Take a breath or two here. And release. And one more time when you're ready. Exhale, moving into the back of the body as you lift those hips. If the hands don't want to stay on the heels, that's okay. Just let them rest on the calves. Good, and rest. Let's interlock our hands. Our fingers reach those arms out behind us, opening collarbone. And one more time towards your rabbit pose. This time, take the arms up towards the sky, opening across the collarbone. And we're going to sweep the arms through and come to a high kneel from here. Inhaling as we reach up. Exhaling, releasing from the hips in towards the ground. Let's turn those hands over and reach up. And we'll just extend to the left. Releasing on the exhale. Come back to center on the inhale. And releasing. I don't want to tell you how to breathe, but normally the release, the elongation through the spine, you'll find on the exhalation. Sweeping back to child pose. Interlock those hands one more time towards your rabbit. Lift those hips. And sweeping back up to high kneel, reaching up Welcome that breath in. Good. Interlock the hands and just reach to the left. And to the right. We'll move towards Camel very, very gently. I'm just going to put my hands on the crown of my head to begin with. Or actually another nice place is belly and chest, just to make sure we keep the breastbone quiet. Perhaps we'll start here. And again, we're going to really drop into the ground as we exhale and move up through the spine, and the gaze is going to lift just above the horizon. Everything letting go from the waist down, extending from the waist up. Welcome that breath into the chest, into those lungs. Belly now supports spine. If you feel any tension in the lower back, just use an inhale and back off a little way. Again, make sure we're not lifting at the breastbone, keeping things quiet there. Let those legs draw you inside, draw you up towards the crown of head, and just have a look back. Take one hand, see where you are. Don't worry if you don't reach the heel, but just have a look. You could try the other side. Keep moving that crown of head into those hands, if your hands are on the top of the head. Have another go. Maybe some of you could reach back with both of those hands. Good. And breath to come away. Hands to the ground. Let's tuck the toes under. And roll back on those feet. We're going to move to forward bend. So resting through those feet, start to lift up through those hips to get the heels to the ground. And then releasing, growing up through those legs. Maybe the hands have to come to the legs or even to the back of the waist. Head and tail keep talking to each other. Keep growing through those legs, undoing those sticky hamstrings. Exhale, pull through those feet to send those legs inside, releasing you forward towards the crown of your head. Good. Taking a few breaths here. Let's bend those knees and just walk forward with those hands towards dog pose. Pull through hands and feet to move through those arms and legs beyond the hips and shoulders to dog. Few breaths here. Bending those knees, creeping back with those hands back to forward bend. Bending those knees to come up to standing through those legs. Hands interlocked behind you. One more time to your forward bend. Bringing those arms with you, reaching up to the sky with those arms. Careful not to lock elbows. Opening across the collarbone. Good. And let's reach up to a chair pose. Reach up with those arms. Exhale, let the base of the spine fall between those hips. Waking up those fingers. And just seeing where the next couple of breaths take you as we exhale. Releasing from the waist down as those feet grow you taller. Crown of head reaching up to sky. Good. Into mountain pose. Let's take our right foot forward and turn the back foot out. And we'll just move between those feet a little bit. Just letting the pelvis go. Good. And then really dropping into or coming through that back foot now to find the crown of your head. Find that long line. Moving through that spine, and we can let those hands go. Opening up. Inviting the breath in. Just seeing what happens on the next few breaths here. What can let go? What can lengthen? Noticing if anywhere feels a little heavy. And just adjusting yourself or sending the breath there to see if you can lighten. Waking up, pouring through those fingers. Good. And turning to wide leg forward bend. Pull through those feet to come forward. Hands could be behind you. To begin with, again, it's nice to just check what's happening with the head and tail. Are they still talking to each other? Exhale, pull through those feet to send those legs inside. Where can you go? Hands might get to floor. Soften through those feet. Sometimes we get a bit heavy through those heels. You might lift one, then the other. See if that loosens off those hamstrings a little. Good. Bending those knees to come back up to standing through those feet and legs. And we'll turn to face the other way. Bend the knee over the front foot and into side angle on this side. Finding your way into the spine. Rest through that back heel. Can you find that line of energy from back heel out through crown of head? Arms releasing. Welcoming the breath. Good. And we'll come back to wide leg forward bend. Let's wiggle those feet a little wider this time. Good. And we're going to lunge side to side. So resting through your right foot, let's lift our left foot and start to move to the right. Again, keeping head and tail talking to each other. If we need to work a little higher, we can work up here, resting elbow on knee. Come back to center, rest through the left foot, lifting right foot. Just moving side to side. Ooh. Make this the last one. Good. Coming back to center. Let those feet bring you back up to standing, turning your right foot to face the front. Left foot is going to send you towards your extended side angle pose. Again, finding that line of energy from back heel to crown of head. We could start by resting our elbow on the knee. That might feel enough for some of you. We can start to open up towards the sky. Perhaps the hand could reach to the ground. The other one could reach up to the sky. Stay working up here. You could bring the hand across the ear. A few breaths here. Good. And coming up through those feet, turning the other way when you're ready. Just watching that knee follow the front foot or heel. Find that back foot to bring you into the spine. Send you to crown of head. Good. Reaching up with the right hand and across the ear. Back to wide leg. And bend those knees. Coming up through those feet to standing. Turning to face the front. The back foot's coming too. Hips are square. Bending the knee over the front heel and reaching up with those arms. Reaching up to warrior. So the back foot, the back heel, don't force it to the ground. As the hips let go, as the spine unravels, it might get there one day. Keep letting go from the waist down to find that release, that elongation from the waist up. Fingers are awake. Hands to prayer. Let's step together and just change those feet over. Playing with your warrior on the other side. Where can that back foot send you? Reaching up. Good. Step it together to mountain pose and let those feet send you forward to forward bends. Inhaling, reaching up, moving towards your standing back bend. Exhale, pull through those feet to move up into that spine. Grow yourself taller. I'm going to bring my hands to the head just to give the head back to the rest of the spine, not let it run away from me. Moving through those arms, back to spine, undoing through the ribs. To see where the next few breaths send you. Breastbone stays quiet so we don't feel this in our lower back. And if we've gone too far, use an in-breath to just come back a little way. Almost like a tree blowing in the breeze. The more we grow those roots down, the more those branches can blow and the taller we can grow. Good. Coming back to center, back to chair. Bend those knees. Exhale, let the base of the spine fall between the hips. Feet sending you up to the sky. Good. And let's step back with the right foot and come to a kneel. And we'll exhale as we release our right arm behind us, left to the front. Inhale back to center. Exhale the other way, left to the back. Back to center on the inhale, gathering back in. And again, one more time. Maybe this time the left arm could reach for the ground, right arm reaches up. Coming back. And the other way, left behind. And come into the ground, reach up with your left. Good. Both hands to the ground, tap the back toes under. Can we send the back heel away? Bring our left foot to meet the right foot to dog. Taking a few breaths here. And then my left foot's going to come through. So you could either come through from here or come down and kneel and bring the foot through that way. Reaching up. And we're going to repeat. So we're going to open up. Open up. And again, right behind, left to the ground, reaching up. And the other way, left behind. Can we come to the ground, reaching up. Good. Coming down, let's bring our left foot to meet our right. Back to dog. Tuck your left toes under. Have a little play with seeing if you can really send the right heel away from you, moving you forward through the spine, through the shoulders, and let your left knee come to the ground. It's almost like you're doing a half plank, keeping the pelvis nice and stable. And then playing on the other side. Resting on your right foot, maybe you could bring your right knee to the ground, left heel away. That might feel enough today. You could choose to move to a plank from here, both heels away, keeping pelvis low, neutral, careful of it lifting, or coming to dog, and sending those heels away, moving through the spine, come into plank from dog. So something for everyone there, I hope. Depending on how strong you're feeling today. Rest the knees. Taking yourself back to child pose. Breathing in and out. Watching breath in belly. Slide the knees wide. And taking a few breaths here. Just lifting the head a little. Let's just walk those hands to the right. And settling to child here. Walking back to center. And to the left. Back to center. And let's lift the head a little and just creep those hands, walk those hands in towards you to come to sitting wide leg. Hand on chest, hand on belly. Good. Drawing those knees in, let's bring ourselves around towards seated position and just walking your pelvis towards your heels. So here's the chance now to grab your blanket if you like to, or feel it's good to have something under the hips. Especially if we feel we're falling back here, it's useful to try and bring yourself further forward through the pelvis, untucking our tails. Really find those feet, ground through those feet. And you can just support or just rest your forearms on your shins, Lightening those shoulders. And can we have a really awake, alert spine here? Relax the face, the jaw, the tongue. Exhale out through your base. Feel that energy that rushes back up through the spine and out through the crown of the head. Good. Let's take one foot forward at a time. Take in the left foot forwards. Keep those toes alive. Let it move it around a little, shake anything off for a moment, and then let's bring the right to join it, keeping that really alert, awake spine. Hands could support you either side of you. Tuning back in with the breath. Can you feel that inhale move up inside you? Exhaling, releasing down, out through your base. And an energy rising back up. Staff pose. Just seeing where the next few breaths take you. And see if we can start to gently just move towards forward bend. So keeping that connection between head and tail and the length through the front of the spine. So there's a temptation, I think, isn't there, to like lead with the head, but we end up just pulling on our poor spines and pulling on the back of the body, leaving no room for the breath in the back of those lungs. So maybe the hands need to stay the side of us. Maybe they support the legs. Try not to rush for those feet. Just let the breath guide you forward. Okay. Releasing. Okay, so now's your opportunity to grab something warm. Maybe you want to pop a blanket on top of you, or you could use one as a pillow. We're going to bring ourselves to Shavasana. So you can slowly make your way down to the ground once you're ready. You can have your feet resting, knees bent if that's nicer for your lower back, or you could stretch out. Whatever feels nicer for your spine, for your body. Let's close the eyes. And start to bring your awareness away from your face. And begin to settle into the ground beneath you, into your support. After practice, your body wishes to rest. Can we surrender to that wish? So as we watch the flow of our breath coming and going, can we let go with the exhale? Let go of anything we're holding on to. Surrender it to the ground. Surrendering to the wish to rest. The body's wish to rest. Surrendering those heavy bones to the ground. So the muscles no longer supporting the bones can rest, and the skin can soften and rest. Maybe on the next few exhalations, sending your cares, your worries away. The more we let go, the more we rest. The less boundaries there are for the breath. Letting the breath flow through us. Completely letting go of each exhale and welcoming each new breath, each inhale. Let it nourish you. Let it fill you up. Okay. So we'll slowly begin to wake ourselves. Start by moving the fingers and the toes. Start to feel your way through all four limbs, the legs and arms. Feel your way back to the spine. Start to open those eyes. And when you're ready, roll yourselves over. And make your way back to sitting. And just pausing here for a few breaths, just to bring you back into the space and into the room. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Have a good evening.